Hello. This is Thursday, April 13th, 2023. This is a sideshow, and I'm Theodore Parker. Today in Lexington, the temperature is around 50 degrees and will go up to 81. No rain in the forecast. And now, since President Biden has signed the bill or the law, COVID-19 is no longer considered a pandemic. And I checked a few days ago, and in Lexington, Kentucky, the COVID-19 positivity rate was sitting at 5.55%, just about the time that was signed. So, if you're watching the sideshow on Facebook or Instagram, don't forget to like, comment, and share. If you're watching on YouTube, like, comment, and subscribe. And don't forget about the sideshow coffee cups. You can buy them from me for $17 plus shipping and handling. I realize this program is viewed around the world, and I have taken that into consideration. You can pay me through Cash App, $TR Parker 1, and receive your cups. So as I usually say, looking through the news, scrolling through news items and various other things like that, what has caught my attention is Taiwan's position. So we consult our world map again. So we have China, and then right here, this little small spot is Taiwan. It is an island. You come down, you have the Philippines and those islands related to that. So as you may have heard, well, let me set this up a little bit first. Maybe a couple of months ago, I was talking to a woman who lives in the Philippines, and she's followed the program. We become quote unquote friends. And we were discussing a possible visit to the Philippines. Well, at the time, there was a lot of advertisements about reduced fare and things of this nature. But as I got into trying to see how to plan the trip, I found that there was like a 24-hour layover somewhere. So there was going to be hotel accommodations and things of this nature, and probably have to stay at least a month based on health regulations and things of this nature. You just can't bounce in for a day or two and then bounce back out, plus travel time by air. So in discussing all of this, she mentioned, well, there's a military base here. Maybe you can catch a flight with them some kind of way. So I said, well, that's probably active duty personnel that can, possibly do that. And although I'm a veteran, I'm not active duty. So that's how that went. Now, you're finding out that there are 20 Chinese warships around Taiwan. Taiwan right here, which is north of the Philippines, but affects them. And included amongst those 20 warships is what Chinese government refers to as their unsinkable aircraft carrier. So we're not going to mention the Titanic to them. Again, to get a little tone to this, if you remember, Russia lined up troops near Ukraine and sat there for a period of time. And then to give a little more background, in September of 2022, the U.S. approved the sale, which is a little bit different than what's going on with Ukraine. U.S. is supplying military aid to the Ukrainian government and Ukrainian people. This was actually a sale where Taiwan was paying for it, for the military weapons that they wanted. And it was to the tune of $1.1 billion. And since then, other articles and other information has been published that says up until the year 2025, the United States has committed to $500 million per year to give Taiwan sources to stockpile weapons. The 1.1 million, I think I read a sentence or something that said there had not been a delivery yet to Taiwan on that. So, I don't know if the word instead is correct or not, but there have been over 17,000 troops deployed to the Philippines, where the United States has maintained bases, active military bases, since the 1990s, to participate in joint training operations with the Philippines. So that's the overall look. Now, you may have seen or recognized some comments from President of France, Macron, who said that, that his position with France, again, understand that France is part of Europe. Let's see if we can get this done, which is over here, Europe, and France is like right here. And they have hopes, dreams, anticipations of combining or pairing with China to build a high-speed railroad system. So I would presume that they want to get their supplies from China. But the difference is France recognizes the People's Republic of China, not the Republic of China. And this kind of dates back to 1883 to 1885, when there was the Sino-French War, which was China and France in or over Vietnam. And at that time, it was disclosed inadequacy of China's modernization efforts and aroused nationalistic sentiment in southern China. Then most recently, this month, President Macron visited China from the 5th of April to the 7th. That's 2023. So you have this tone now in the Pacific. And the United States involved. They are doing the best they can with Ukraine. And I'm pretty sure I mentioned that the value of Ukraine on a global basis, on a world basis, was that Ukraine has value to the world because it produces 80% of the world's grain. And one of the things that Russia did was seize one of the seaports to prevent that grain from going out. And then in the midst of all of that, African countries were crying for grain, so they finally started letting the grain be shipped. So now here we are at Taiwan, this little island right here, and we're talking about value to the world again. And because it's so small, everybody misses Taiwan. So China wants it back. That's been the discussion, to bring it back under Chinese government. So as usual, there's more to it than meets the eye. Now, here we go. You probably have remembered comments about we don't have enough chips, whether it's Silicon Valley or whether it's car manufacturers. I know when I was in the Fort Knox area, we come past certain areas in the city, and Ford F-150s would be sitting there bumper to bumper. And my friend would make a comment, or I'd make a comment, and he would say, well, they need chips. So here we are, Taiwan. Taiwan produces over 60% of the world's semiconductors and over 90% of the most advanced ones. Most are manufactured by a single company, Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing Corporation. So I hope I've conveyed this information in an intelligent enough fashion where you can see where we are and where this might be going. That's it. Hashtag.